Hello and welcome to the next of our short segments on utilizing the Home123 Mobile Listing Tag mobile marketing platform. In the last few segments we focused on logging in and creating codes and utilizing marketing in different types of advertising that you're doing. And in this section we want to talk a little bit about the customer experience and what the customer sees and what the general process is for that customer contacting you. And so the first thing, I'm actually back in the managed listing sections for this particular agent, Tim. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in and take a look at a specific property. So let's take a look at this property, 2942 in Linwood. And what we know is that a customer, if they scan a code or text and they go to a mobile site, we want them to have a mobilely rendered site. So this is just an iPhone emulator that I have, and you'll see that this is a site that is formatted specifically for a phone. And so we have some mobile sharing device at the top. We can choose multiple languages. The branding is for the real estate company that you're working with. So in this case, it's Real People Realty at the top. Even the URLs are branded. And you can go through, and the customer has the option to click on pictures and do different things. We can embed video tours, maps, different things like that. And then all of the other data is either created from the website that you've created or taken directly from the MLS, depending on what part of the country you're in. So here, this particular property there, we have mortgage calculators, links to banks to go ahead and get those guys pre-qualified with sponsorship. And as we go down, of course, all of the contact information for the realtor is immediately available to that customer. Once they get to the bottom, they can search for additional properties. The first thing that we want that customer to do is view the properties that are specifically listed by that agent. You always want to give them a shot to view the things that you want to do instead of sending them directly to an MLS search. However, if they do get through this, and if they don't, they can click on one of these properties. If we want to go take a look at this one on Harvey, we can do that. Or alternatively, we can scroll all the way to the bottom, and if we want to search additional properties, that'll take us into what's called an IDX MLS search, which basically is just fancy terms for they create a login, and then they can search the MLS, and it's all branded to you, and then you get the lead at the end. So not a bad combination in terms of the walkthrough. But usually, again, when people are looking at these systems, what they generally do, especially in mobile, if they haven't contacted a real estate agent yet, is they're really out there trying to save that information. They'll take a look at a property, and maybe they'll want to send it to their wife, or it's a first-time buyer, maybe their parents, somebody, just to get an overview of that. So we give them a lot of options to do that. But in doing so, we have to be very conscious about what type of device that the end recipient of that information is going to be viewing the data on. And so what I mean by that is, you obviously wouldn't want to show a tiny little skinny website like this to somebody who's on a desktop. And so in this case, our system is smart enough to know whether or not you're on a phone or a desktop or an iPad or different types of devices. So in this case, I'm utilizing a desktop, and if I want to utilize the desktop version, I can go ahead over here, and this is the exact same link that we just viewed on the phone, only it happens to know that I'm sitting on a desktop right now. And so we'll spread the information out. They can still view the pictures, the whole 9 yards, but we don't clutter things up. So here's some of Tim's additional listings. They can again go in and do a search process within the MLS. But the customer experience is consistent with what they're doing, and that's very important to show that you understand kind of what the customer needs are and how they're viewing their data. So it's a big difference between a lot of the mobile sites that are out there today that are specifically focused on mobile. We understand this is about branding and marketing. And so with that said, we want to go back in here. The other piece of this that we need to show is, in some cases, we have areas that either do not have MLS coverage, or you may want to create a listing manually. Maybe it's not in the MLS, or we've had a lot of customers utilize this to take a sign writer or a flyer or something into a listing to show the customer kind of what they're up to. It's very visual. It helps you gain those listing agreements. So if you need to add a listing manually, all you have to do is click on the Add Listing buttons. Again, we're in the Manage Listing section, and fill in the data. And so if we want to add a home virtual or video tour, we can just type in the URL there, add the pictures, just like you're entering data into an MLS, because obviously this is not in the MLS yet. Address, price, etc. And the next thing to note about this is that you can go ahead, you'll have to create an MLS number, just a random number to get it to work. But if you leave off data, it will not appear on your website. So we don't end up with cluttered websites that, especially on a phone, that people see a bunch of data fields that are empty. It only positions and places information that you've filled out in your sites. So very effective for the customer, very effective in listing agreements, and we're hoping to get you a lot of deals based on this new technology.